Actually speaking, Krishna and Arjun are not separate. Arjun is the illusioned and confused mind. Krishna is the center of that mind. That is the relationship between Krishna and Arjun. Krishna is the heart of Arjun. That within you, which already knows, is Krishna.
All the forms of the multimedia, the film industry and the advertisements I'm talking about, have presented the images of both the sexes, most of which have been unrealistic and stereotypical. The very quality of femininity has been portrayed in the film industry.
Yes.
Ironically, has victimized them merely as pretty faces and sidekicks. So, why do you think women are exploited by the film industry and advertisements? And in spite of the visible female objectification, why women let it happen to them? And what is the role of multimedia in the gender bias?
No, we are talking about it as if it is a great mystery. Right? There is a woman who agrees to be in the commercial advertisement of a men's safety razor. And there she's half nude and dancing and inviting men to buy that safety razor. Don't you know how that happens? Don't you know the dynamics involved? She's being paid some money. That's it. And that's all that Prakriti cares for. Food. You take care of my food. I'll do whatever you want me to do. We are saying that that media, including mainstream movies and commercial advertisements and all those things, right? We are saying they insult women, they degrade women. My approach always is, can anything happen to you without your consent? Is it really being done forcibly? No, it is not being done forcibly. If something is being done forcibly, why not fight it? What's the worst that can happen to you? You lose certain privileges. Extreme, you will lose your life. How is a life in bondages worth living anyway? Please tell me. You look at a woman playing a very abominable role in a movie, let's say a Hindi movie. Somebody coerced her? Was she made to dance at gunpoint? Somebody was holding a gun to her? No. It's an offer that she accepted. And that offer, the tendency to accept that offer comes from Mother Nature. Don't you see how animals behave? Show them a little food and they'll come after you. Is that not the case in jungle, please? As long as we continue to be animals, we will continue to be susceptible to greed and fear and insecurity and such things. It is pretty rich on our part, quite unbelievable to say that things are happening to us. No, things are not really happening. They are happening to us out of our consent. Make a lucrative enough offer and you get any actor or actress to do whatever you want him or her to do. Maybe there are a few exceptions, but that's all. And why does that happen? Because we live our biological selves. The biological self says, have prestige, have power, have a lot of assets, have food, have security, gather a lot of material things, and that's what the purpose of life is. We are being told the purpose of life is pleasure. And pleasure can be bought. Pleasure can be bought using money. So if somebody comes to you and offers money for something, you will have a tendency to accept that money. And if you don't accept the money, it is not because you don't want to accept the money, it is because usually the money is not big enough. Quote a big enough number and almost everybody can be bought. Where is the question of exploitation? Tell me, where is the question of exploitation? But a person who realizes that pleasure and consumption are not the purpose of life cannot be bought. I want girls and women to be that person. The person who gives two hoot to all kinds of temptations. The person who says, I'll lay down my life rather than sell myself in any kind of marketplace. We can be that kind of person, right? You have the power. Why do we care for security so much? Why do we care for belongingness so much? Is there really a need? And don't we see the price that we pay for our internal weaknesses? So many women continue to live pathetic lives just because they can't walk out of their household. I ask them, what is the reason? Why can't you walk out of the household? They say, oh, because we love our kids. Because the family is to be maintained. Because we have certain duties and responsibilities towards such and such persons. I investigate deeper. And what do we get to see? There is insecurity. There are economic issues. Who will feed me? Come on. Let's give it a try. We'll do something. Maybe you'll not get as lavish a lifestyle as you are currently enjoying in your decorated prison. Maybe you'll have to make do with far lesser. But come on, freedom is worth it. Is it not? No, is it not? I don't know. Each of us has to decide for herself. What is the worth of freedom? You figure that out. And if you have much in life and not freedom, what do you have? Figure that out.
Good evening, sir. Sir, so we talked about consumerism. So consumerism basically, whenever we buy something or whenever we consume something, it is basically a play of the hormones. We need to feel good. And on the other hand, people fall in love and whatever things make us pleasurable, they are all a play of the hormones. So if we lessen it, so what would be the alternative? Like if we give up consumerism, what would be the alternative then?
Is this question a play of the hormones? This is the alternative. As a human being, you are the only species that can watch this play of hormones. That watching is joy itself. This is the alternative. Can you watch the entire thing happening and then be in a powerful position to accept or reject it? This power is pure joy. Otherwise, you are just a slave to circumstances. What fun is there in that? Somebody showed you a pizza ad and your hormones got activated. And you said, I want pizza, I want pizza. You have not decided to buy that pizza. Somebody has forced you to buy that pizza. It's just that the force has not been exerted through a gun or muscle power or something. The other one is controlling you through a remote control. With a chip within your mind. So you don't even come to know that you are being enslaved. There is no fun in that.
Being liberated is being conscious about it.
Being?
Liberated means being conscious about it. Does that mean?
When you say being liberated, obviously there has to be somebody in bondage, right? Only then the word liberation has any meaning. Who is the one in bondage? First of all, figure that out. If you do not know how deeply you are in bondage, liberation will remain just a word. A good word, a nice word, but not a word you can give your life to. You can give your life to this word, liberation or freedom, only if you firstly realize that you are deeply in chains, that every part of you, every cell of you is a slave.
Yes, thank you.
Good evening, sir. So for a very long time, we have been hearing that a woman is worshipped as an epitome of perseverance, strength, self-respect, sacrifice, and so on. Now my question is, there are situations when we see a woman has to jeopardize her self-respect and dignity and go for and sacrifice that for the sake of her family, especially in case of when she is abused and harassed by her in-laws. So my question is that should she do that, or she should go for her self-respect and dignity? Because if she chooses either of the two, she has to face that stereotypic mindset of the society that has been entrenched since long. So what do you think should be pivotal at this point?
Why are you narrating this story of weakness?
No, sir, I am just citing two examples because these are the two major forms.
But why do we even need to talk of these examples as worth narrating? Huh? What do you mean by family? You are an individual, first of all, right?
Yes.
And if you have to have relationships, they have to be in love and respect. What kind of relationship is that which entails oppression and insult? What kind of relationship is that? And if family is the collective name for such relationships, why do you even need the family? I mean, just because somebody is labeled as a relative, therefore you have to be with that person. What nonsense is this? Love is great. Respect is wonderful. But what is this oppression and humiliation in the name of relationships? Quit right now. No second thoughts on that. We are afraid. We are just afraid, right? The moment I say this, there is no nod of approval from your side. There is a silence of the stunned kind. I said quit and you are stoned. How do I quit? How is it even possible? If it is not possible, then you will have to bear the bondage constantly. Relationships are wonderful. Being with a man or a woman is great. But there is a condition to be met, right? Without that condition being met, how are you spending even one day with that person or persons? Just because there is a social contract and a legal thing? What is that? No family, no institution is bigger than the fundamentals of life. And remember the fundamentals of life. Remember who you are. You are not born to serve the family. You are born for your liberation. And it's your liberation that's your greatest act of love towards the others as well. If you really want to help the world, work towards your own freedom. Instead, if you say, because I have responsibilities, hence I am choosing slavery, it is both stupid and self-defeating.